Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. We've got Bill Radvak on. He's CEO of American Vanadium, and we're delighted to have him on the program. I hope I got that pronunciation correct. Is that right, Bill?
Absolutely.
Very good. Well, I'm excited about your company. You know, you're dealing with an area that's extremely important to people, which is when it comes to the entire ability to store energy. It's extremely crucial, and there's been so many changes that are going on. But why don't you start by kind of giving us an overview, the panoramic overview of what your company is all about?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Yes. American Vanadium, and you're right, it is important. It makes it easy to get to work every day. You know, we're doing something that's really quite valuable. We are an integrated energy storage company. And but most importantly, what we've the greatest news lately is we've signed a letter of intent to acquire what we believe, and a lot of others believe, is the leading flow battery solution. And really, the way the world is working out is that there's for the next 5+ years, there's two battery technologies of interest that are going to make an impact. There's lithium, which is growing like gangbusters, and then there's flow batteries, which are best for long duration storage. So while a lithium battery, in your phone or laptop will last many hours, on a grid scale, it really sort of peaks out in effectiveness at about an hour. And these flow batteries are real workhorses, and they're best at shifting 4 to 12 hours of energy.
Yeah, very good. Talk about the history of the company. When did you get started?
Sure. Well, actually, it started out, interesting enough, as we were a little company in Vancouver that had controlled the world's or North America's only vanadium deposit. And vanadium is very unique. It's a steel strengthener, so it's probably in every little bit of rebar in North America. But when I joined the company 5 years ago, I saw this up and coming opportunity, because vanadium is also the critical component in the leading sector of the flow battery segment. Because vanadium is the only element that allows you to have one element on both sides of the batteries, both the positive and negatives, which means it's not a chemical reaction. Like a lithium battery will wear out because the electrodes, every time you discharge, you're wearing them down. When you have the same component on both sides, it's an ionic reaction and you're not wearing out. So these big workhorses will go for 20+ years, 20,000 life cycles without any really significant loss of capacity.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Talk about, what your thoughts are long-term wise. What are some of your long-term objectives?
Well, here, obviously, it is, with the deposit, what we did is looked at who were the leading manufacturer in China, Japan, and Europe, and decided that this German company had very highly engineered product and really could prove that they had the only one that really worked commercially. And so what we did was focused on them. So the short term here this year is make the acquisition, make sure we put the right funding in place to position as a real high growth company and make it a dominant leader. And in that we want to be top 3, if not the top flow battery company globally, just as this whole long duration market segment is really starting to build.
2015, how good of a year was it for you, and what are your prospects for 2016?
Well, 15 was a real hold pattern for us because we were just focused on this acquisition. So we're sitting quiet, and it was kind of a painful year. And because really, to us, it always was about this acquisition, which we closed right at the end of the year. And so 16, we expect to be just a complete change for us. We're hugely excited. The amount of news and reaction we're getting for this acquisition is extremely strong. We now have the opportunity to partner with some of the best IPP, independent power producers, solar developers, utilities to really push this forward and be a strong solution. I mean, if you look at it, one of the biggest news late last year, interesting enough, was Bill Gates at COP, the Climate Control Conference in Paris at the end of the year, where he announced his major initiative with all the billionaires to double investment in clean tech. But he released a white paper that said in it had addressed 3 innovations that could be game changers. 2 are solar related. The other was flow batteries, because flow is unlike lithium, that it really can hold all that, collect all that energy from the solar field in the middle of the day when it's really not of the greatest use, and either spread it to the peak periods where it's important, or spread it over day and create microgrids or off-grid opportunities. So we've got a great opportunity in front of us. It starts with a technology that has little to no risk left in it, which is very important in the energy storage sector. And now we've got to really build a team and a plan and partnerships to move it forward.
Sounds like it. Sounds like you got a very exciting year. Particular verticals that you work with?
Yeah.
What are the particular verticals that you tend to work with?
Well, I mean, the ones that are the EPCs, the big companies putting in these microgrids, electric companies. You can talk, the Siemens, the Schneiders on equipment side. It's funny, the whole market's still going to have to sort itself out. In the early days, everybody's talking about energy storage being the Holy Grail. We'll have to see where the right paths are. Right now, the project developers and renewable are the key ones on that side, and then there's project developers with utilities. So as utilities are now starting to buy a lot of big storage. Essentially, you can go look at Long Island, where they're looking at massive storage because the other option is putting a lot more generation and transmission lines in. And so utilities are now moving to this long-duration storage as well. So clear, tremendous opportunity. We have to work hard here, coming up with a very focused plan to get through this year, but position ourselves for great growth down the road.
Got to wrap it up with that. Give us your website real quick before we let you go, Bill.
www.americanvanadium.com.
That's spelled American, and then the second word, VANADIUM.com. Thanks so much, Bill Radvak. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Do want to remind the listener, we got a great program this Sunday on the Biz TV network. It's going to include Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, plus so much more. Make sure you check it all out at priceofbusiness.com.
We want to multiply.